Battle of Mława was one of the first battles of Poland's defensive war and of World War II as a whole. It took place between the Polish Army Modlin led by General Emil Krukowicz-Przedrzymirski and the 3rd German Army commanded by General Georg von Küchler. The German plan of aggression against Poland, Plan White, envisaged that the most important offensive, in addition to coming from Upper Silesia, would also begin from East Prussia in the general direction of Warsaw. The offensive was to be aided by the short distance from the border to the Polish capital and the flat terrain of northern Masovia. The German plan did not come as a surprise to the Poles, and in 1939 the Polish Army Modlin, under the command of General Emil Krukowicz-Przedrzymirski, was directed to defend the northern border of the country. Comprising 2 infantry divisions and 2 cavalry brigades, it was deployed along the border with East Prussia with the aim of halting a possible German attack on Warsaw and the Modlin fortress. Shortly before the war, starting from July 14, 1939, the defense in the center of the Modlin army position began to be strengthened by the construction of a line of field fortifications and concrete shelters north of Mława. By the start of hostilities, it was possible to erect 49 bunkers in the Mława area and 6 more in the area of the Żegnowski position. The line of bunkers, nearly 60 kilometers long, ran in the direction of Tuzamala, Uniski, Zawadzki, Żegno. To the east of the Modlin army, the narrow group was to hold the defense in the old Russian forts from the First World War. In the morning of September 1, the main forces of the 3rd German Army under General Küchler began their offensive towards Mława. The German side made one serious mistake: the reconnaissance failed to detect the existence of fortifications at Mława. The offensive was halted as soon as the German units approached the Polish fortifications. The enemy, caught off guard by the strong and accurate fire of the machine guns and artillery of the 20th Rifle Division, suffered heavy losses. In the Mława forest area, the German 44th Infantry Regiment was driven out by a counterattack from Polish cavalry. The attack by the 61st and 11th Divisions on Zaldo also ended in failure. After another infantry attack failed, the Germans deployed tanks, but 6 out of 50 vehicles were lost and the rest retreated. Only on the right flank of the Polish line did the Germans achieve success. The 12th Infantry Division and the 1st Cavalry Brigade successfully drove the Mazovian Cavalry Brigade from its positions near the town of Chodziel. On the next day, September 2, the German 1st Corps continued its unsuccessful attacks. After 2 hours of artillery bombardment, the 11th and 61st Infantry Divisions launched an assault but were repelled by the 80th and 78th Infantry Regiments, respectively. However, on the Polish right flank, the Woodrid Corps captured 2 key points of the Polish defense, Zaboklik and Góra Kamienska, creating a breach in the Polish defenses around Dębska and Nozarzowo. Sensing weakness on the Polish right flank, von Küchler marched the Kampf Tank Division towards Zanowno during the night to prepare for an attack the next day. The Poles found themselves in a critical situation, and their command decided to organize a counteroffensive the next day with the approaching 8th Division. On September 3, the 8th Division began a counteroffensive in diverging directions. The 21st Infantry attacked to the east, towards Przasnysz, the 13th Infantry Regiment to the north, towards Grudzisk, and the 32nd Infantry Regiment to the northwest, towards Dębsko. Thanks to aerial reconnaissance, the German command was informed of the Poles' plans and countered their strike. When German armored vehicles approached from the direction of Grudzisk at night, both regiments, 13th and 32nd, panicked and began a disordered retreat. By 10 p.m., the division was mostly destroyed. The 21st Infantry Regiment maintained order and retreated, covering the shattered regiments towards Modlin. On the positions of the 20th Division, German sapper troops finally managed to break through Polish anti-tank obstacles. The Germans used local residents as human shields, which allowed them to capture several bunkers on the left flank of the Polish forces, but they were unable to advance further. On the right flank, in the section of the front near Żegno to the east of the swamps, the attacks were more successful, and closer to evening, parts of the German Corps Woodrig finally broke through the positions of the 79th Infantry Regiment into the Polish rear. This widened the gap in the front in the vicinity of Grudzisk. On September 4, at 9 o'clock, due to the inability to hold the flanking positions from the east, General Emil Krukowicz-Przedrzymirski ordered the 20th and the remnants of the 8th Division to retreat towards Warsaw and Modlin, finally leaving the fortified positions. By 10 o'clock, Polish soldiers had abandoned Mława. The German command organized massive air bombardments of the retreating Polish troops, which led to the complete disorganization of the 20th Infantry Division during the day.